Hi, Internet. I am the notorious B.I.V, and this is my beautiful W.I.F.E.
For now.
For now.
Well, I guess I still am your wife, but
Yeah. We haven't come up with a name for this person yet. The thing is, like, so I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty creative person. So I always feel like, so I would never want anyone to name me. Like I always choose my own name, like my own, like I'm the notorious B.I.V. That's me. But you were wanting me to name you, which I thought was.
Well, you are the creative one, so I thought you might come up with something really great.
I guess so. So I'm gonna have to think on that. I guess. I mean, the thing is, like, so I had a friend. We used to role play, right, back in the day, because we just had sticks and stones to play with, and no video games or anything fun like that.
Oh, those were the days.
So we role played. We played D&D and all that stuff. And this friend of mine, it would bug me because he would every character he would make he would name it after like some. He was always reading fantasy novels, so he'd name his characters after just someone in a fantasy novel. And to me, that was like so like almost offensive. It was almost offensive to me because of, I guess, because I'm a creative person, and to me, I'm like, like if I'm naming a character, it's like I want it to be like my, like what I call it, like I come up with my own name for my own character. I don't know. Anyway, so
the long and short is, you don't have a name for me yet.
I don't have a name for you yet,
and neither do I.
Okay, but anyway,
I've answered to a lot of things. Well, but
yeah, and
that's all right.
The other thing too is like you are. I almost said your name. You're very.
Go back and go back.
She's very private. She's a very private person. Like she's on Facebook. She doesn't ever post to Facebook. She doesn't want. She doesn't name any of our children ever. She doesn't post pictures
they have
of
names,
our children.
but the internet doesn't know about it.
Right. She doesn't post pictures of her children. Pictures of, she's like you're very private. You're very privacy oriented.
You could say that.
Yeah. So I figured.
Except that I do have a couple times a month on YouTube, but that's not something that I get to choose about.
Yeah, now, because because she's married to me.
Well, and my part-time job requires it as well.
Oh, that's right. You're on. Okay. But anyway, but so I figured you'd already have an alias because like you don't, what don't you have? Do you have an alias on Facebook?
Nope.
No.
Nope. It's just me.
Okay. Well, anyway, enough about us. So today I thought we would talk a little bit about millennials, or maybe two.
I'm not one.
Maybe two millennials. And the thing is, like, everyone always, whenever someone's discussing millennials, it's usually in a negative way.
There's a lot of that.
Right? Like, if there's an article on millennials, it's like, oh, millennials are really goofy and they're doing this goofy thing and whatever, right? So I don't really want to bag on millennials necessarily. I don't want to bag on millennials. We're firmly Generation X, right?
Very.
And millennials, I guess, are they Generation Y? Because there's Generation X, and then they've got to be the next generation, right?
They are.
Okay, because
it starts like 84.
Okay.
I forget where.
So they're like in their 30s, maybe, and we're in our 40s, sort of, mostly, we're sort of in our 40s. We're at the end of our 40s, but so everyone's always like saying millennials this, millennials that, and I think, you know, in a lot of the problems are because millennials. Well, I mean, they've inherited a lot of problems. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, it's not necessarily their fault that, you know, that things are the way they are. I know. For even in my generation, and we've talked about this before, even in our generation, like I felt like growing up, we always there's nothing that forces men, especially young men. There's nothing that forces young men to grow up and be men.
The way a war would. Is that
right.
what you mean?
Well, yeah, like
because most generations have had some sort of a war that they've fought, and that's kind of been the coming of age thing.
Right, or the Great Depression, or there was always like some upheaval.
Some big thing that made them stand up and take a stand for something. Mm-hmm.
There was like the Greatest Generation, right? They fought World War II, and they came home and they're like, "Oh wow, I survived!" Right? I'm sure a lot of them were like, "Oh, I didn't die, so now like, what am I going to do with my life? I need to do something with my life, you know?" And I mean, like being face to face with death, like that's gonna make you evaluate, like, well, what do I really believe? What do I stand for? What do I want to do with my life? So then our parents' generation were the boomers, right? They were the boomers, and they were, I guess they were kind of, they kind of reaped the prosperity of the Greatest Generation. The Greatest Generation came back and like, you know.
Well, they'd been through something really terrible, and they wanted better for their kids. Right.
Maybe they got a little bit spoiled. Maybe. I mean, they grew up in these prosperous circumstances, and now we get to my generation. We grew up in these prosperous circumstances. We've had everything sort of handed to us.
Hard life. Role-playing games. Video games.
We have. You know, we have video games, we have food.
Well, and that's kind of I think that's what the draw to video games is that not having a physical, real-life challenge where you have to stand up and fight against something. I think men have been searching for that kind of fulfillment, that it's a natural thing to want to go out and conquer and stand up and accomplish something and have a quest. So I think men are really in a search for that because life hasn't provided it for them.
Okay. And I don't know why women like, for some reason you guys just do what you're supposed to do anyway. I don't know why like women are like, "Oh, this needs to be done. I'm going to go do it." Right? And they go and like
make dinner.
Yeah, they go make dinner, or they go, they go to college and they get good grades and they get a good job. And men, we're just kind of like, like I'm gonna sit on the couch unless, something forces me not to. And
I don't think that's a requirement, though.
It's not a requirement. It's been hard for me personally to grow up and take responsibility.
It has.
Even, just because nothing has made me do that until I married you, and then
I was the problem.
Yeah.
I became the problem that made you grow up.
Yeah. But I think that's only gotten like worse in the millennial generation. I mean, they've had amazing prosperity. Oh, what are you doing?
Sorry.
Okay.
Kicked it.
But they've had amazing prosperity. They haven't had to do a whole lot.
I think the millennials struggle a lot. I think there's a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because as the economy has gone well, and there's tension in the world, but not necessarily like a draft. It's not that kind of tension, but there's there's that unstableness around the world, and as the internet and other things have made the world much smaller and we're more aware of what's going on in other countries, I think that adds to the uncertainty that millennials feel, and even, I don't think they're able to enjoy the prosperity as much as they would if it were set in a different time period. I think millennials are just kind of feeling stuck, and
yeah,
I don't know. I don't envy them.
Well, so okay, so that kind of sets up a little bit, but so millennials and dating. Let's talk about millennials and dating.
Okay.
Because I was watching this. I was watching this Tim Pool video, and he considers himself a millennial, but he's like later. He's kind of later millennial. He's like later 30s, I guess, maybe. And he was talking about this article that was bagging on millennials, basically, and saying like millennials don't get married and don't have children and all these things. It's like it was kind of a statistics thing, right? Marriage is down among millennials, and he said he immediately started talking about this dating app. He's like, well, dating, blah blah blah. Like I've been on this app, right? And to me that was weird. The millennial generation has to be the first one that would immediately like think of an app, right? When you're talking about dating or whatever. So he's like saying, oh yeah, I've been on this dating app and that dating app, and they always match me up with these all these things. So I almost said your name again. Dating app. So my wife and I are we're opposites. Okay,
we are.
We're as opposite as we can be. It's good you're wearing black and white today, because we're like
it's me.
We're like black and white, in a lot of ways. Like a lot of ways.
I don't do video games.
Yeah, she doesn't even watch movies, which is crazy. But it's not crazy. It's just her.
The garden. I mean, there's a lot more to do in life.
She gardens. I don't.
Real life is long.
But I thought if you're relying on a dating app, like we never would have gotten together on a dating app. It would never have paired us up, right? So right there, I'm like, whoa, guys, slow down on the app here. And if you want to use an app, fine, right? But seriously, like meeting your partner, your life partner, right? For lack of a better term, that's one of the hugest decisions in your life. A marriage to like the wrong person can be horrible and make your life hell. Marriage to the right person could be amazing and like change your life.
And still make your life hell, but
yeah,
hopefully just in small doses.
Yeah, but so trusting that great, like a huge decision like that to an app, I just think is a little crazy.
Well, I think it sets up a conflict where two people are going to be so similar and have so many things in common. I mean, if you were as worried about details and agitated about things as I am, we would be a mess. Well, we wouldn't be we anymore.
Right.
But the fact that you're very calm and relaxed in some situations where I'm very, very worked up makes a huge difference. And I think if an app has too many things that match up and say you're the same, you're not going to get that balance, that compromise that makes for a good marriage.
Yeah. Well, but it depends on your personality type too, because there are people that that do marry someone who's a lot like them, and it works great for them. But for me personally, like I don't think I could be married to someone like me. I think it would. Sometimes I think that'd be great, and I would love it. But in all actuality, I think it would lose its luster very quickly. I think that you being different from me really, it keeps that fire going. It's like it keeps me interested.
You never know what's going to happen next.
Well,
that's what it is.
Sometimes I do, and I don't want it to happen, but it does anyway. But you know, that's
like the day I came home with chickens and we didn't have a coop. Yeah.
But that's my personality, you know. Like I'm attracted to my opposite. And that's great.
And so am I.
And so an app might work for someone who, I'm not saying an app won't work necessarily, but here's the thing though, like if all I'll say about dating apps is this, and I've never been on one. I haven't used dating apps, but you really don't know someone until you like get to know them. You know what I mean? You don't know, and you can have like a list of, these are their interests and these are whatever, but I wouldn't dismiss someone simply because you know, you don't have the same interests or anything like that. Like sure, you know, the app might match you up with people. You know, give someone a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you like anything about them, right? Maybe you just like their picture. For for men, that, you know, that's kind of how we operate, right?
Well, and
at least initially.
And realize that the person that you first get to meet may not be the same person that you have later on. I'm a much different person than I was when we first got together.
Yeah.
Much different.
Yeah, and so am I. But we'll talk about that
next time.
Yeah, we'll talk about
some other time.
How marriage evolves. That's okay. Yeah, that's a topic. That can be a topic. We got to think of topics. Yeah, we got to think of topics while we're.
If you have things you'd like us to just shoot from the hip about,
yeah,
let us know.
Yeah,
in the comments.
So yeah, I would just say, you know, give people a chance, right? You really don't know what they're like until you actually meet them in person.
And sometimes several times.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a young girl, before I actually started dating, I was introduced to this theory called the vanilla theory. And the idea is you may like vanilla ice cream, it may be your favorite, but if you haven't tried some of the other kinds, how do you know it's your favorite? Maybe your absolute lifetime love of ice cream is just a couple down at Baskin Robbins, and if you branched out a little, you'd find something you really loved in a way you didn't even realize you could.
Okay. Cool. But in my experience too, like, you know, there's a spark, right? There's a spark that no algorithm is ever going to figure out. And when you meet someone and it's like, it's not there, right? And you're just like, it's not there, right? Maybe she's like super hot or whatever, but after like a few dates, you're just like, yeah, it's just not there, right? Or maybe, you know, or like when you do meet that person and there's like a spark, it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And it doesn't matter, like, you know, it doesn't matter what her interests are and what your interests are. It's just like you guys are like, boom, right? And so you've just got to give that a chance to work. And it's like, it's a face-to-face thing. I mean, maybe you can, like, I don't know if messaging each other, like, if that works or not.
It's hard. There's something about looking at people's faces and seeing them react to what you say that makes a difference. So maybe if you were FaceTiming or something, then but still, in person is better.
Yeah.
I was going to say, in facing different ways instead of the same way, you'll get to know people better. Just a little comment on the movies, but that's all.
Facing, I don't even.
Well, if you're sitting next to each other and you're looking at a movie, well, you're not learning much about each other, are you?
Well, yeah, movie's probably not a good first date. Okay, but here's the other thing. Millennials, do get together and try to get a relationship with someone, okay? It's worth it. It's really worth it. And I think a lot of things are pushing the sexes apart these days.
So like the Me Too movement.
Okay.
I think it's a dicey thing. It's a bad thing to have been assaulted. Been there, done that. Not my favorite, you know, multiple times. But not.
Not by
But at the same time, that shouldn't mean that I'm then going to say all men are bad. It was just those couple of bad apples that I ran into.
Right.
So it's dangerous to lump everybody together and treat them all the same and say, oh, because of a few, then we can extrapolate it into the whole thing.
Right. And because that's out there, I think a lot of guys are hesitant now. It's like, oh, I don't even want to deal with women because.
And rightly so.
I might get in trouble, or I might get accused of something or whatever, and that's. I guess men and women both just need to be a little kinder to each other, and just get together, get together. Men need to. I've said before. I've talked about like a social contract, and we're 28 minutes.
We're gonna cut a whole bunch though.
Yeah. So there should be this social. There has been in the past a social contract between men and women, and society has kind of gone away from that, and that's why you have men behaving badly now, and women calling them on it, and women not wanting to be with men, and men not wanting to be with women, and it's really we need to have this social contract where men behave themselves and are kind and nice, and women behave themselves and are kind and nice. And
it's a concept, isn't it?
And then we can interact without all this crap in between us. But yeah, there's the Me Too movement. There's pornography, right? That keeps men and women apart because pornography tells women, oh, you're not hot enough and sexy enough. And it tells men, oh, those women aren't hot enough and sexy enough, and and I know tons of men are into that these days because
it's pretty common
because it's on the internet and it's everywhere. So these are a lot of things for millennials especially that keep men and women apart. You have men are just saying, I'm forget women, I'm just gonna play video games and look at porn, and I don't need women. And then there are women who are like, well, I don't need a man, I can go and I'm just gonna go get a job and be an independent woman and make it on my own, and who needs a man, right? So there's a lot of that attitude, and honestly, being together is it's a huge thing.
Really cool.
It's a great thing in my life to have just to have someone that supports me and is is there for me. It's a huge deal, right? When I lose a job or something, which has happened many times,
Done that. Mm-hmm.
then it's great to have someone there that's supporting me and saying you can do it and helping me get back on my feet, whatever. And so there are great benefits to being married, and hopefully as we do more videos you guys will see. I don't want to tell you necessarily how we benefit. I want you to see how we benefit because we're happy together.
Yeah.
Even though we're opposites. So I guess that's all for today. I think that's everything I wanted to say. Is that everything you wanted to say?
I didn't really have an agenda, so whatever you want.
She doesn't have an agenda. But yeah. So there you go. Take it for what it's worth, guys.
You can do it.
Yeah, you can. You can do it. Hopefully that was helpful. Our last video got a lot of views. It got a lot of views, more views than my stupid gaming videos.
And more views than my part-time job.
Yeah, not that my gaming videos are stupid, but they are what they are, and I don't expect to get tons of views on those. But I'm glad ours got some views. I think
you have good things to share.
I think you have good things to share.
Oh, I think.
She's hatting it up today, by the way, if you noticed.
It's Sunday. I like to wear a hat to church.
She's got a big hat. Anyway, that's all for today. We were a little late on this video, so I apologize for that.
It's the name thing. We've been struggling with it.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But we're probably also going to move to a different channel. Move this particular content to a different channel at some point, maybe soon. So we'll let you know, when that'll be or what that'll be. But that's all for today. Okay, this has been the Notorious B.I.V. and his
me,
lovely and me, and thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed that, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and tell your family and friends to come watch us. If it's helpful. If not, don't. Anyway, love you guys. Appreciate you supporting us, and I hope we've been a little help to you today.
Have a great week.
And I love you, sweetheart.
I love you too.
Okay. Bye, guys.